Hello, and I'm here with Jeffery Lando, filmmaker, a title I have not used in previous years.
Oh my God.
First time for everything.
That's terrible.
But welcome to FirstGlance.
I'm delighted to be here, thanks.
Is it your first visit to this festival?
It's my first time at FirstGlance, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's been great meeting Bill, the guy behind the camera, the guy behind everything. And yeah, I've seen some great movies so far. I'm looking forward to seeing more and meeting the filmmakers.
Amazing. Well, we are really happy to have you here. And we're going to talk very briefly about your film.
Thank you.
Lissa's Trip, it's a feature, and I believe it's showing tonight.
It's showing tonight. I'm very excited to, because we shot this movie in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. So to get to bring it to Los Angeles and actually share it with, get actors are going to get to come out and see themselves. I live in Vancouver, so I haven't got to bring it here yet, and that's very exciting.
Actually, it was quite exciting for me to. I watched the film last night, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I know that place! I love that place!"
Right?
It was just like it was.
We shot all over the place,
I know.
all over LA. And
that's no mean feat as well.
Which was one of the things I was interested in. I was interested in what new possibilities are available now in filmmaking due to the technology and different workflows. Like, what is possible that wasn't possible before? And one of the things I realized is I can actually, it's possible if you want to entirely do away with the crew and do what I call non-hierarchical filmmaking.
Well, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your process because so when I first started watching the film, I should have known by the title where it was going to go, but genuinely I didn't.
Oh, good.
And then all of a sudden a penny dropped and I was like, oh, okay, great. And it really was fantastic.
I'm glad.
It took me on a trip and the film felt very, it just felt very group effort. Like there was a lot of work, there seemed to be a lot of moving parts. And I was so impressed by the animation. I imagine you use green screen, but I'm not sure. So
there's a little green screen at the end, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to know about how you got all this together. It's such a huge effort.
Yeah, well, it wasn't actually that huge. I mean, that's the thing. It was like the easiest movie I've ever made in a lot of ways. I know, it's really bizarre that way. I mean, I was very curious. I'd seen all these new technologies, AI inside of cameras, AI inside of our editing systems, robotics, stabilizers, amazing autofocus cameras, people have iPhones, like all this stuff. And I said, maybe there's another way. And maybe in this new way, I imagine in my mind, what is that we can do away with the army of kind of personnel that we require to make a movie, we think we need to make a movie, like all these trucks of equipment, and then you need a battle plan, and you need money, and you need to manage them, and they leave a swath of destruction behind them.
So it's quite a small scale.
Got rid of all of that. So it's literally like if you're on set, you're either the actor or you're me.
Okay, so I still have a job.
You still have a job.
Okay, actors, you're safe.
It's just us, and then literally I would come up, I was doing non-hierarchical, so there's no orders. So I'm not telling you what to do, there's no script. It's just like, we're going to talk about what your character is. I have a suggestion. Like, hey, I think the scene could be about this. And I'm generally hoping that you're going to subvert the process. And, I don't think so. And then, good. And then we'll come up with something better.
I love that. So collaborative is the word that I was reaching for earlier.
Yeah.
So it felt very collaborative.
People say filmmaking is a collaborative medium, right? And what I say is that maybe it's collaborative like a plantation is collaborative, right? But I was interested in collaborative like a jazz band might be collaborative, right? A totally different thing. So, yeah.
Well, that's such a gift as well. Discovery. Definitely to an actor, but I'm sure for the entire crew.
It was super easy. We would never do a 12-hour day. I don't think we ever did a 6-hour day.
Amazing.
It was really like, we'd meet, you show up in wardrobe because your character is based on you somehow anyway, and you know what you're going to wear, right? You're going to do mainly your own makeup, etc. And, we're going to act, and it happens very quickly. I'm not setting up a bunch of lights. It's not an army of people. Like, we chat, very social. We start shooting, and then we're done before you know it. And you go away, and maybe you've got an audition. You're like, I have an audition. Say, okay, well, we're like water. We'll cancel. Not a big deal.
Can I do a film for you?
Yeah, I would love to do it. So it's such a fun process.
I love
that. It's a transformative experience. We could do it this way instead.
And was there ever a situation where there was a difference of opinion and then somebody had to make that final decision? Because I know you said
there was. So there's a moment in the movie.
Mhm.
Okay, so in my mind, so she was going to turn down. She gets this amazing offer,
Mhm.
right? No, she tries to get to this audition, right? She gets the audition, and in my mind, she didn't get the audition, and then, goes on.
Mhm.
But then someone suggests, well, what if she did get the audition? And I'm like, oh, okay, that's an interesting idea. So we just incorporated that, right?
Oh, I
So that was
see.
easy. That wasn't an
Okay.
argument. But then I had this idea she should reject this job. It was a corporatist job that she's been offered, and she should say no and not take the job because she's an artist and she's discovering her art. And that was really important to me. But my lead actress, was like, why? Why should she reject the money job and that she's famous?
I mean, that is definitely a point of view.
Right? And I was like, oh, I have a bias. Like I'm an anti-capitalist or something, bias that I have. And so we changed it because she disagreed. And so I'm not going to fight with you.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not going to argue and make it be my way. If you're disagreeing, then we need to come to a synthesis.
Okay.
And
if you could give us a log line,
yes.
What would that log line be?
So Lissa's trip is about an actress who accidentally takes like a lot of LSD and then tries to get to her audition anyway. Epiphanic Odyssey across Los Angeles, ensues basically.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie.
Thank
so
you.
congratulations.
Thank you so
I just thought it was so wonderful. We're really happy to have you here, and thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
I'm delighted to be here, and thanks for watching the movie.